Criminal sexual conduct with minor, 3rd degree. You're going to be happy with a $20,000 bond? I don't think so.
Did you all have an opportunity to go to the bond hearing?
I didn't even know that it was happening.
This is an absolute and total failure. Something has to be done, and it's got to be done now.
I feel like we screwed up. I mean, he could have easily been let out. If that's the bond that the judge put on him, which is a pretty weak bond for this kind of a case. But, you know, I'm not going to point a finger at the judge, because if we didn't have somebody there to give him the facts of the case, then it's not on the judge, it's on us.
A bail bondsman is demanding answers tonight after a Chesterfield County judge set a $20,000 bond on a man accused of molesting an 11-year-old girl. Investigators say the girl recorded the sexual assault on her cell phone and sent the images to a friend while calling for help. Our chief investigative reporter Jody Barr launched an investigation into the setting of that bond and to find out who showed up to advocate for the young girl. The sheriff is now promising changes based on what we uncovered. Here's Jody Barr with UNHEARD, a Queen City News investigation.
When you see the bond amount at $20,000, what do you think we did?
Like the little girl just got slapped in the face.
Samantha Fiella was thrown into the middle of a child sex assault investigation last October.
My daughter's best friend sent her a photo of her being sexually assaulted.
What did you think when you saw that?
Honestly, I was very shocked and surprised, and I was actually proud of both of the girls. My daughter for knowing she needed to show an adult, and the other one for being able and brave enough to take the photo.
The incident report shows the 11-year-old girl Snapchatted messages to her best friend. Deputies say those images showed a 56-year-old family member in the act of sexually assaulting her. Samantha Fiella's first call, the victim's mother.
That was my first thing, like letting her mother know and getting her out of the area, like away from that environment.
But according to the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office report, the mother's response ended up putting her in jail. The mother, deputies wrote, told Fiella she didn't want any problems and to delete the photos and all evidence and forget about this.
Do you think she chose to take those pictures because maybe she had a problem with people believing her before?
Yeah, usually they need some type of proof, because people will be like, oh, no, no, no. And then on top of that, it's children. So a lot of times people are just like, oh, you're making it up. You saw it on YouTube. You saw it on a TikTok or someone else's story. And it's just like almost like looking for attention, but in a negative way.
For an 11-year-old little girl to have to think that far ahead.
It's just like mind-blowing. It really is. It's sad. She's a sweet little girl. Sweet. So kind. And when we first moved down here, it was the first friend my daughter made. And they're still friends.
Investigators eventually learned this wasn't the girl's first allegation against this family member. This has been going on for a couple of months now. She's tried to tell her mother about it several times, but never would believe her. The deputy wrote in the report that got the girl's mother charged with unlawful conduct toward a child, a felony that carries up to 10 years in prison. We're not naming the mother to protect the victim's identity.
I sent her that photo and then she believed her.
You think the sadness in all of this is the fact that it took that?
Yeah, and the amount of time that it's been.
That night, Samantha Fiella got temporary custody of the victim.
Sounds like you didn't give this a second thought to take her in.
Absolutely not. As soon as that photo came through, I took a photo of it off my daughter's phone, sent it to her mom, and I told her, I was like, here's the proof that your child's not safe.
Investigators arrested 56-year-old Belisario Morales Mazariegos and took him to the county jail. The next morning, the investigator charged him with criminal sexual conduct with a minor. The judge set bond at $20,000.
Same old stuff.
And that's where Ethan Ford got involved.
How you this morning?
Good, how are you?
Good. Can I get some information on this fella right here? It's kind of hard to say his name.
Okay. Ethan Ford, former sheriff's deputy and now a Chesterfield County councilman, farmer, and businessman, is also a part-time bail bondsman.
What do you need, warrants?
Anything you have on in relation to him and any of his current charges or anything pending.
Ford got a call from Mazariegos' former employer asking if Ford could check the jail to see if he was there. Ford found him there. He also found out about the $20,000 bond.
I could easily see a bondsman getting this gentleman out for, I have seen as low as 3%. So that would be $600, which is disturbing that someone who is being accused of criminal sexual conduct with a minor could have such a small bond.
He called Sheriff's Captain Wayne Jordan, who supervised the investigation, to find out what deputies did to verify Mazariegos' true identity and immigration status. Ford says the captain told him nothing was done. He also found no one showed up to Mazariegos' bond hearing. When you asked about having someone there at that bond hearing, what did he tell you?
Well, we can't go to every bond hearing. That's where I draw a line, and I think that it's a failure on the system that law enforcement didn't go to the bond hearing, that they didn't communicate with the judge to tell the judge this person is a flight risk. We got to stand up for this little girl.
This text exchange between Ford and the captain shows
Sunday, October 29th at 1:52.
3 days after the bond hearing, the sheriff's office still had not done anything to confirm Mazariegos' immigration status.
So the next thing I say is, did the officer tell Davis that he is an illegal immigrant who sexually assaulted an American child that was 11 years old? Wayne's response was, don't think he's illegal since he married and don't know if they did or not. I said, according to his former employer, he is an illegal alien. He's got a $20,000 bond. Whether he's legally here or not, a $20,000 bond is garbage.
Ford then Googled U.S. immigration law.
Women, it says no, it's not possible to obtain a U.S. citizenship by marriage if you are an undocumented immigrant in the United States. So it's more than just getting married to a U.S. citizen to make you a legal U.S. citizen.
Ford gave the captain a few more days. On October 30th, 4 days after the bond hearing, the captain asked SLED's immigration unit to help. The next day, an ICE agent went to the jail and identified Mazariegos as a Mexican national. ICE placed a detainer on him, meaning Mazariegos, once he's freed from the county, will go into federal custody to face deportation proceedings.
I haven't seen anything that would make me believe that if I hadn't looked into this and reached out to Captain Jordan, immigration would have ever gotten involved. I don't think that was ever a question. I don't think that was ever a concern. The fish had been caught and the paperwork had been done, and it seems like they were finished.
I have not read all the reports, but I know what happened as it was happening, and it was being reported to me. So yes, I'm familiar with the case. It was pretty egregious, and plus it was unusual in that we had a lot of evidence. Let's just put it like that, a lot of evidence.
Chesterfield County Sheriff Kembo Streeter says his deputies did exactly what they should have the night they arrested Belisario Mazariegos to make sure he didn't go anywhere.
Now, I do know that we did contact ICE. That was done right away. That was done at the time of the investigation. So, actually before the warrant was served on him, ICE was contacted. So there was a hold on him. I don't know if you know that, but there was a hold on the guy.
And I think that's where I think we take a little turn. The sheriff gave us this document. It's a temporary hold the sheriff's office placed on Mazariegos the night he was arrested. This form, though, has nothing to do with immigration. It's a standard form that allows South Carolina law enforcement to hold someone in jail for up to 24 hours without a formal charge, until investigators can get a judge to issue charging documents. The form states if charges are not made in 24 hours, the arrestee is subject to being released from the detention center. The form also shows Mazariegos' name listed as Hector Morales, suggesting at the time he was booked, deputies did not know his real name. Did anyone from the Chesterfield County Sheriff's Office attend this bond hearing?
Not to my knowledge. I don't think so.
And why not?
Well, we normally don't go to the bond hearings unless there's a reason to.
And I guess the next question would be, if not a case like this, what case would you all ever show up for?
Obviously, we show up for cases where we think that the judge may not have the facts of the case, or we might need to explain the facts of the case.
But the sheriff says the judge had everything he needed in the warrant and the incident report, except Mazariegos' immigration status, which bond judges use to determine risk of flight. This defendant could have easily paid that money and been out of jail. You now know that he was in the country illegally, which, would you consider that a flight risk?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Is it a fair criticism that the sheriff's office jeopardized an illegal alien to this country getting out of jail, running away and never being held accountable, never being brought to justice because of steps weren't taken on the front end to make sure that ICE was contacted immediately to make sure that this person showed up and was present for their day in court, and this victim also was protected.
How do I feel about that? I feel like we screwed up. I mean, he could have easily been let out. If that's the bond that the judge put on him, which is a pretty weak bond for this kind of a case, you know, I'm not going to point a finger at the judge, because if we didn't have somebody there to give him the facts of the case, then it's not on the judge, it's on us.
Our investigation also uncovered not only was the sheriff's office not at the bond hearing, but neither was the victim.
It's called a victim's information notification form. This would have been the victim or somebody representing the victim. And on the victim's signature line is handwritten juvenile, dated 10/26/23.
Confirming she wanted to know when a bond hearing happened, and she wanted to make a statement before the judge set bond.
Did you all have an opportunity to go to the bond hearing?
I didn't even know that it was happening, nothing.
And she was in your care?
Yeah,
And the sheriff's office knew she was in your care?
yes. The only time I heard from the sheriff's office was that night. That was it. I haven't heard from anybody.
If I were to tell you that the caretaker of this juvenile told me in an interview that they had no idea this bond hearing happened, what would you say to that?
It's a total disgrace. It's a total failure that the system has failed this little girl, and she's just another victim no matter what the crime is, and I don't think that they're taking it serious as for what it really is.
Magistrate John Davis says he called Fiella before Mazariegos' bond hearing, but she declined to go. Fiella says that call was about the victim's mother's charges, and the judge mentioned nothing about Mazariegos or his bond hearing. We asked Judge Davis for documentation showing he contacted the victim about Mazariegos, but the judge did not respond to that request.
If I told you that the sheriff's office wasn't even at the bond hearing, what would you think of that?
Why? They're the ones that did the arresting. They know everything that happened.
Do you think that could have potentially put the judge in a tough spot of not knowing enough about this case to set an appropriate bond?
Possibly. But even still, with knowing that it was a child, doesn't really matter the age of the child. It was a child.
I can tell you, Jody, that because of this case, and you bring it to our attention, you bring to my attention some things, obviously some shortcomings that we had here, I'm going to look into it and make sure it doesn't happen again.
Following our interview with the sheriff last week, he told me he'd call the victim's guardian. The next day, the sheriff's victim's advocate made that call, which the guardian tells me is the first time she's heard from the sheriff's office since this all happened nearly 3 months ago. I also spoke with the victim's mother, who denied every allegation from both the little girl and law enforcement. The sheriff also told me he's making changes. Now, every time a question of immigration arises, deputies will notify SLED, and deputies must now document everything in writing. And any time a victim confirms they want to attend a bond hearing, the sheriff told me his office will be there as well. 2 days ago, the grand jury indicted both people charged in this case. Trial dates, though, are not yet set.